from saying COVID-19 is perfectly safe not to get vaccinated, to being called misogynistic, racist, and homophobic. These are celebrities who hate Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan is a man of many talents. He's a comedian who can make you snort laugh your way into an ab workout, an actor who can charm his way onto the big screen, and the reigning master of podcasting with his sensational show, The Joe Rogan Experience. It's safe to say that this guy has conquered the entertainment world, one laugh and thought-provoking conversation at a time. With his quick wit and ability to talk about any topic under the sun, Joe has become a household name for millions of fans worldwide. However, not everyone is a fan of the man who can talk for hours on end without breaking a sweat. In fact, some celebrities absolutely hate Joe Rogan and aren't afraid to let the world know it. From heated Twitter exchanges to public criticisms, these stars have made it clear that they're not on Team Rogan. So who are they? And what's their beef with the podcast king? Let's dive into the drama and find out. Let's talk numbers, shall we? The Joe Rogan Experience is exclusively available to stream on Spotify. With the platform's single best-performing podcast, the comedian is a huge boon to the streaming giant. According to the folks over at Time Magazine, Joe Rogan's podcast attracts an estimated 11 million people per episode. Yes, you heard that correctly. 11 million eager ears are tuned in to hear Joe's musings, jokes, and conversations that traverse the vast landscape of human knowledge. That's enough listeners to fill a small country, or at least a couple of stadiums. The Joe Rogan Experience has been rocking the airwaves for a breezy 13 years. In that time, Joe Rogan has unleashed over 2,180 episodes into the wild, each one a unique blend of laughter, insight, and unfiltered conversation. Now, let's talk guests. Joe Rogan has a knack for attracting a diverse mix of individuals to his podcasting kingdom. You name it, he's had them on the show. Fellow comedians drop by for some hilarious banter. Authors bring their literary wisdom, celebrities share their secrets, and scientists unleash their knowledge bombs. He has great minds such as Elon Musk racking up a stunning 67 million views, and it's his most viewed video. Other celebrities he's brought on include Mike Tyson, Kevin Hart, Bill Burr, Dave Chappelle, Sam Harris, Neil deGrasse Tyson, and Lance Armstrong. But it doesn't stop there. MMA fighters grace the JRE stage, ready to throw down with Joe in verbal combat, and influencers sprinkle their social media stardust over the airwaves. So how does the guy that seems to be loved by all have people who hate him? Joe Rogan is a controversial figure, and while many people enjoy his podcasts and comedy, some do not share the same sentiment. Some criticize his views on politics, his promotion of pseudoscience, and his tendency to give platforms to controversial guests. Others find his humor offensive, his language vulgar, or simply do not enjoy his style of interviewing, and it may rub certain people the wrong way, like these celebrities. Prince Harry and his fabulous wife Meghan have stepped onto the Spotify stage and had a bone to pick with Joe Rogan. In a grand statement, the power couple expressed their concerns about the dangers of COVID-19 misinformation spreading like wildfire on Spotify's platform. But who's the main culprit, you ask? Joe Rogan, of course. Apparently, he told his loyal listeners that it's perfectly peachy not to get vaccinated if you're a healthy young adult. Oh boy, did that spark some controversy. But hold your horses, because Rogan isn't one to back down from a fight. The podcaster swiftly denied the accusations, claiming that he's not spreading misinformation, but rather engaging in riveting conversations. He's just out here trying to entertain. Who knew that a royal feud would unfold in the world of podcasts? Who could forget the verbal wrestling match between Rogan and Trevor Noah? A video of Joe Rogan surfaced, showing him uttering the N-word multiple times. Yikes! Naturally, the podcast superstar wasted no time in issuing an apology on Instagram trying to put out the flames. He claimed that he didn't mean to sound racist and expressed deep regret for his choice of words. But wait for it, Trevor Noah, the quick-witted host of The Daily Show, wasn't buying it. In an episode of his show, Trevor Noah unleashed his comedic fury, suggesting that Joe Rogan was using racism as a twisted form of entertainment. Shots fired. Joe Rogan's loyal fans swooped in to defend their podcast hero, reminding Trevor of a time when Rogan came to Noah's defense. You see, shortly after Trevor Noah was announced as the new host of The Daily Show, he faced a storm of controversy when some old tweets of his resurfaced. But guess who had Trevor's back? None other than Joe Rogan himself, leaping to the defense of the comedian during those hard times. In one episode, the podcasting maverick floated the idea of hosting a presidential debate. And guess who took the bait? None other than the one and only Donald Trump, who saw this as a golden opportunity to showcase his debating chops. But Sunny Hostin, the outspoken co-host of The View, isn't having any of it. With a net worth of $3 million and a strong voice, she wasted no time in throwing some fiery accusations at Rogan. According to Hostin, he's misogynistic, racist, homophobic, and just an all-around inappropriate choice to moderate a presidential debate. But let's not forget about Donald Trump, the man himself. He doesn't escape unscathed. Sunny Hostin went on to criticize the former president, accusing him of defiling the office of the presidency and wailing about the loss of decency in the country. What about the battle of commentators? Stephen A. Smith and Joe Rogan. It all began in the aftermath of UFC 246, where Donald Cerrone suffered a swift 40-second TKO loss to the notorious Conor McGregor. When dissecting the fight, Stephen A. Smith didn't hold back. He described Cerrone's performance as giving up, lighting a fire under the MMA community. Joe Rogan wasn't about to let those remarks slide. He called out Smith, voicing his displeasure on his podcast and making it clear that he believed it was a bad look for ESPN, a bad look for Smith himself, and a bad look for the sport of MMA. Rogan decided to bid farewell to the Golden State, California, opting to set up shop in the Lone Star State of Texas instead. But not everyone was happy about this move, and Tito Ortiz was leading the charge of discontent. Rogan defended his decision, citing overcrowding, homelessness, financial hardship, and the notorious traffic as reasons for his departure from California. He wanted a change of scenery, somewhere in the center of the country that would offer him accessibility and a sense of freedom. But Ortiz, who was running for city council in Huntington Beach, wasn't having any of it. The former UFC champ believed that Rogan, along with other Hollywood celebrities fleeing the state, were nothing more than quitters. This one's got all the ingredients of a #1 controversy. It all started when Joe Rogan had fellow comedian Joey Diaz as a guest on his podcast show. Things took a turn for the worse when Diaz made a sexist statement about using sexual favors to secure stage time from female comedians. Instead of condemning the remarks, Rogan seemed to find it amusing and even asked Diaz how many women he had done this with. Yikes. Chelsea Peretti, the quick-witted actress from Brooklyn Nine-Nine, wasn't about to let this slide. She took to her Twitter account to express her disgust with the whole situation. Not only did she call out Joe Rogan, but she also shared her own experiences of sexism in the comedy industry. Peretti argued that male comedians should take a stand and tell men to stop spewing hateful words about women. She also urged them not to support podcasts that perpetuate racism and sexism. While Joe Rogan may be a talented comedian and podcast host, not everyone is a fan. We have uncovered that there are some reasons why some celebrities may dislike Joe Rogan, including his controversial views on politics and wild comments. It is important to remember that not everyone will agree with our perspectives, and that's okay. We should always be open to listening to different viewpoints and engaging in respectful discourse. From being called misogynistic, racist, and homophobic to saying COVID-19 is perfectly safe not to get vaccinated. These were celebrities who hate Joe Rogan.